लखनऊ हो या हैदराबाद, ऑर्डर करें बिरयानी आज ही, स्टार्टिंग एट ₹149।
Good morning, dear students. I hope the screen is visible and my audio also there. Audio also there. So everything will work smoothly. So we will start our lecture at exactly 10 a.m. So you can reply in chat box about the audio and screen, isn't it? Very good, Rushikesh. All is clear. Screen is visible, audio is audible. That's nice. So I think you get your sectional marks of both, that is theory and practical. And now you are aware about where you have made the mistakes. Now there are two sectionals are remaining. So try to work hard for the next two sectionals. So dear students, last week we have discussed about the diabetes, different types of diabetes. Also I have given one work to you about the insulin and insulin preparations, isn't it? Some of you have completed that work and they have sent me the sorry answers of the that particular questions. Most of you have listed the different insulin preparation, but I am very much impressed by the Manish Gavit. I think so. He has sent very nice written works. So I really appreciate the work done by the Manish Gavit, isn't it? So I have read most of the assignments submitted by you peoples, isn't it? But he has done very nicely. So very good job, Manish. So this week we are going to discuss about the oral hypoglycemic agents, that is the drugs which are useful for the treatment of diabetes and taken it by orally. So we will start our today's lecture within a 1 minute. I hope you are doing well, and now um, there are only 6 months is remaining for your annual exam. So hope you will start the preparing for the exam by following all the rules and regulation given by the local authority in order to combat this COVID-19 situation. So once again, I welcome you all for this online lecture. Basically, today we are going to discuss how to remember the chemical structure of chlorpropamides and phenformin. I will give you a very uh, important tricks. By if you apply such a tricks, you will never be forgot the structure of chlorpropamide as well as phenformin. As these tricks I have applied during my BPharm course, and I have completed my BPharm in 2005. Since from them, I have never forgot the structure of this chlorpropamide as well as phenformin. It is a very easy tricks to remember the chemical structure. I hope the same tricks you if you applied, it will be very useful to you people also. So further, we will not wait for the other peoples now. Okay, so now let's start the today's lecture. So good morning, dear students, once again, and today we are going to discuss about the actual oral hypoglycemic agents. The learning outcomes for today's lecture is define and classify oral hypoglycemic agents. At the end of this web lecture, you will be able to define and classify oral hypoglycemic agents. After that, you will be able to draw and remember chemical structure of chloropropamide and phenformin, as these two structures are given in your syllabus, that is education regulation prescribed by the Pharmacy Council of India. As you know very well, diabetes is the chronic disease, or you can say it is a group of disease that results in too much sugar in blood, that is high blood glucose level. This is due to insulin deficiency or hyperglycemia. As you know very well, there are two types, type 1 and type 2 diabetes. Type 1 diabetes is also called as insulin dependent diabetes mellitus. It is a chronic condition in which pancreas produces little or no insulin due to loss of beta cells. As there is no beta cells, there is lack of secretion or lack of concentration of insulin. So type 1 caused by lack of insulin. So if there is no insulin, there will be no breakdown of glucose which are present in the blood. So there is need to take only insulin. So only solution to treatment of type 1 diabetes is a insulin. So you have to take insulin if you are suffer from the type 1 diabetes. So there is no other solutions for the type 1 diabetes. Okay. And you know very well that you have read the things from your books or from internet that insulin is not taken orally. So it must be injected to the patients for the treatment of type 1 diabetes. On the other hand, type 2 diabetes is also called as non-insulin dependent diabetes. Means it is not dependent on insulin secretions, but it is produced due to of the insulin resistance produced by the cells. This condition will occur in a such a way that the cells are fails to respond the insulin very properly. So there is lacking of insulin sensitivity towards the cells. Because of that, the proper breakdown of blood glucose will not take place and their concentration will get increased. So it is high blood sugar, or you can say high blood glucose, because it will caused by the insulin resistance, or you can say the lack of sensitivity of insulin towards the cell. So for that purpose, the drugs are useful for the treatment of such a type of diabetes are called as oral hypoglycemic agents. So you can take the medicines or the drugs by orally to lowers the blood glucose level. So those drugs which are taken by orally and useful for the treatment of diabetes, or you can say for the treatment of type 2 diabetes, are called as the oral hypoglycemic agents. So it's very important concepts for the treatment of diabetes. So for type 1, you need to take only insulin. Oral hypoglycemic agents will not work as type 1 is caused due to lacking of insulin. So you have to take the insulin only. Okay, and if you are suffering from the type 2 diabetes, then you have to take the oral hypoglycemic agents. If you are not taking the proper care for, if you are suffering from the type 2 diabetes, and if you are not able to take the proper care, your type will get changed. Means your type 2 get changed into type 1 because of not having proper management of the type 2 diabetes. So you have to take care and you have to manage your diabetes as early as possible. So oral hypoglycemic agents are also called as anti-diabetic medications. Oral hypoglycemic agents are also called as anti-diabetic medications. Means the drugs or medications are used in the treatment of diabetes mellitus. The drugs which are used in the treatment of diabetes mellitus by altering the blood glucose level, altering the glucose level in the blood. Means altering means changing, and what we need to change, we need to decrease the blood concentration of glucose, isn't it? So altering means changing, so we need to change the high blood glucose level to low blood glucose level, that is we need to produce the hypoglycemia, isn't it? Hypo means lowers, isn't it? So that drugs which are useful for decreasing the blood concentration of glucose or glucose concentration in blood or sugar concentration in blood are called as anti-diabetic medications, and those anti-diabetic medications are administered orally are called as oral hypoglycemic agents. Those anti-diabetic drugs are taken by or administered by orally are called as oral hypoglycemic agents. Are you getting? So these are the exact definition of oral hypoglycemic agents. You can remember through its name also. Oral means the drugs which are taken by orally, and its property is what? Hypoglycemic. Hypo means what? Lower. Glycemic means blood glucose. So drugs which lowers the blood glucose level by taking orally are called as oral hypoglycemic agents. So basically, there are three types of mechanism. Not it is exactly mechanism, but by there are three ways by which these oral hypoglycemic agents are useful for the treatment of diabetes. First, some of the oral hypoglycemic agents are responsible to increase the amount of insulin secretion by the pancreas. As newer insulin gets secreted, fresh insulin gets secreted, so as amount of insulin is increased, it leads to ultimately the increases the breakdown of glucose, and it will helps to lowers the blood glucose level. Secondly, some of the agents, that is some of the oral hypoglycemic agents, are responsible to increase the sensitivity of target organs to insulin. Remember, type 2 diabetes is caused due to of lack of insulin sensitivity, or in other words, due to of insulin resistance. So these are the normal cause of the type 2 diabetes. म्हणजे त्याच्यामध्ये इन्सुलिनचं रेझिस्टन्स होतं, किंवा आपण दुसऱ्या भाषेमध्ये असं म्हणू शकतो की इन्सुलिनची सेन्सिटिव्हिटी कमी होते सेलच्या त्या ठिकाणी. म्हणजे जर सेन्सिटिव्हिटी जर कमी झाली तर ऑटोमॅटिकली तो ब्लड ग्लुकोज ब्रेकडाऊन करायला असमर्थ ठरतो किंवा प्रॉपरली तो ब्रेकडाऊन करत नाही. मग असे काही एजंट आहे की जे इन्सुलिनची सेन्सिटिव्हिटी इन्क्रीज करते. इन्क्रीज द सेन्सिटिव्हिटी ऑफ टार्गेट ऑर्गन्स टुवर्ड्स द इन्सुलिन, और इन्सुलिन सेन्सिटिव्हिटी टुवर्ड्स द सेल्स आर गेट increased, by which the breakdown of glucose will start. And some of the agents are also responsible for decrease in the rate of absorption of glucose from the gastrointestinal tract. So if the glucose are not absorbed into the blood, then their concentration will not get increased. So there are some agents which are responsible for decrease the rate of absorption at which glucose is absorbed from the gastrointestinal tract to blood circulation. म्हणजे जीआयटी मधून ब्लड सर्क्युलेशन मध्ये जी काही जाण्याची प्रोसेस आहे ग्लुकोजची ती थोडी मंदावली जाते. हे लक्षात घ्या. आणि म्हणून त्या ड्रग्सचा वापर ब्लड ग्लुकोज लेवल कमी करायला वापरला जातो. So there are these three ways by which the oral hypoglycemic agents can act to decrease the blood glucose level. So now let's see the classification of oral hypoglycemic agents. Dear students, as I told you various times, if you want to remember the chemical structures very effectively, if you want to draw the structures without having too much of efforts, there are two methods. First method, you have to know its chemical classifications along with the structural backbone present in their structure. जर तुम्हाला क्लासिफिकेशन चांगल्या प्रकारे जर माहिती असेल तर निश्चितच तुम्हाला या ठिकाणी स्ट्रक्चर लक्षात ठेवायला मदत होते. त्याच्यामुळे तुम्ही हे लक्षात ठेवा, की जर क्लासिफिकेशन आपले चांगल्या प्रकारे जर लक्षात असेल, त्या ड्रगचा जर क्लास व्यवस्थित लक्षात असेल, त्या ड्रगमध्ये कुठलं स्ट्रक्चरल बॅकबोन प्रेझेंट आहे, हे जर लक्षात असेल, तर स्ट्रक्चर लक्षात राहायला मदत होऊ शकते. ओके. So first class from this oral hypoglycemic agent is sulfonylureas. Example is tolbutamide, chlorpropamide, tolazamide, acetohexamide, glipizide, glyburide, glimepirides, and glycosides. There are so many drugs from this sulfonylureas class. And I have changed the color along with the asterisk mark for the chlorpropamide. It indicates that you have to study the structure of chlorpropamide from the class sulfonylurea. Okay. I have not mentioned the name of heterocyclic ring as it does not contain the heterocyclic ring in their structure. Then class number 2 is thiazolidine diones. Examples are rosiglitazones and pioglitazones. Next class is the biguanidines. Biguanidines, or it is also called as biguanides. Examples are metformin and phenformin. These metformin drugs are taken by the most of the peoples who are suffering from the type 2 diabetes. If you are working in medical shops, or if you know the some of your relatives are having the blood sugar, then if you check their prescription, or if you check their medicine box, you will find out that it is that medicine containing the metformin as active constituents. Then next class is the non-sulfonylureas. Examples are metaglinides, repaglinides, and nataglinides. Next class is the alpha glucosidase inhibitors. For example, acarabodes. So there are 5 class: sulfonylurea, thiazolidine diones, biguanides, non-sulfonylureas, and alpha glucosidase inhibitors. So there are 5 class, and from these 5 class, there are only 2 chemical structures. As I told earlier you that if you want to remember the chemical structure, then you have to remember its chemical class. So chlorpropamide is an example of which class? Sulfonylurea. And next drug is phenformin, which is example of biguanidines. Because if you know their class, if you know their basic chemical structure, or you can say basic chemical skeletal or structural backbone, then it will be very easy to remember the structure of drugs. So if you know the sulfonylureas, you can able to draw the structure of chlorpropamide. If you know the biguanidines, then you are able to draw the structure of phenformin. And I will share some tricks with you peoples to remember the structure of these two drugs. Okay, so from this chapter, you have to draw the structure of chlorpropamides and phenformin. So first class is the sulfonylureas. Sulfonyl, if you see this word, it is a combination of two words, sulfonylurea. We have seen during the IUPAC nomenclature about the sulfonyl group, that is SO2 group is called as sulfonyl group. We have discussed the IUPAC nomenclature of sulfonic acids are like that, isn't it? So SO2 group is called as sulfonyl and it is mixed with the urea. The structure of urea is very easy. I will show you how to draw the structure of urea. But it's very easy. So combination of the sulfonyl groups and urea, it will becomes the sulfonyl urea. Sorry. So these are the drugs are structural analogs of the sulfonamides. As we have studied the sulfonamide, that is antibacterial, that is SO2NH2 is called as sulfonamides. SO2NH2, this group is the sulfonamides. So sulfonylurea is somewhat related with the sulfonamide, but remember the sulfonylurea have no antibacterial activity. Even though they are having structural similarity between the sulfonamides, but it does not having any kind of antibacterial activity. So sulfonylurea is structurally related with the sulfonamides, but they have no antibacterial activity. So sulfonylurea can be, if you want to draw the structure of sulfonylurea, you have to remember it is a combination of aryl sulfone with urea. It will form sulfonylurea. Combination of aryl sulfone with urea, it will form sulfonylurea. Aryl, remember dear students, aryl means aromatic ring. Aromatic ring means where there is first ring is the benzene. फर्स्ट रिंग इज बेन्झीन. लक्षात घ्या, हळूहळू आपल्याला स्टेप वाईज जर आपण हे लक्षात ठेवलं, आपलं सगळं बेसिक जर डोक्यात असेल तर स्ट्रक्चर काढायला किंवा स्ट्रक्चर लक्षात ठेवायला खूप सोपं जाईल. म्हणून आपण स्टेप बाय स्टेप चाललोय. सल्फोनिल म्हणजे काय हे आधी आपण समजून घेतलं आणि मग आता आपण बघतोय की याचं स्ट्रक्चर आपण कसं तयार करणार आहोत. सो सल्फोनिल इज नथिंग बट द मिक्सिंग ऑफ सल्फोनिल ग्रुप अँड युरिया, but it is not having only sulfonyl group, it is having aryl sulfone groups, isn't it? Aryl means what? The benzene ring, aromatic ring. So aromatic ring with SO2 is a aryl sulfone and urea is nothing but NH double bond O NH2. This is the urea structure. This is the aryl sulfone. Okay, this is the aryl sulfone portion, that is benzene ring, and SO2 is a aryl sulfone portions and remaining portion is the urea and whole structure will now becomes the sulfonylurea. Are you getting this? This is the very important concepts to remember the structure of sulfonylurea. If you know this basic skeletal, or you can say the skeletal backbone of the structure of your chlorpropamide, then it will be very easy to draw the structure of chlorpropamide. So sulfonylurea, it will form by the fusion of aryl sulfone and urea. NH C double bond O NH2, that is NH2 C double bond O NH2 is the structure of urea. Aryl sulfone is attached to urea, that's why one hydrogen get replaced here. So it will becomes NH. Aryl means benzene ring and sulfone means SO2. So this is the sulfone, SO2 is the sulfone, aryl means benzene ring. So if you combine this all three together, it will form the structure of sulfonylurea. Means benzene, sulfone groups and urea, it will form sulfonyl urea. So sulfonylureas are useful for the treatment of type 2 diabetes. Sulfonylurea is useful for treatment of type 2 diabetes as it will able to stimulate the release of insulin from beta cells of isolates of pancreas. Remember, it will very be useful to increase the stimulation or secretion of the insulin from beta cells. So these drugs are not useful for treatment of type 1 diabetes. रिमेंबर, हा ड्रग टाईप 1च्या ट्रीटमेंट करता आपण वापरू शकत नाही. का? कारण ह्या ड्रगचं मेकॅनिझम ऑफ ऍक्शन काय आहे की ते बीटा सेल्सला स्टिम्युलेट करतात इन्सुलिन रिलीज करायला, इन्सुलिनचं कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन इन्क्रीज करायला. परंतु टाईप 1 डायबिटीसमध्ये बीटा सेल्स डिस्ट्रक्ट झालेला आहे, बीटा सेल्सच नाही आहेत, तो त्याला काय स्टिम्युलेट करणार? तो त्याला इन्सुलिन रिलीज कर म्हणून कसं सांगणार? म्हणून टाइप 1 मध्ये हे ड्रग वापरले जात नाही. टाइप 2 मध्ये काय झालेलं आहे, इन्सुलिनची सेन्सिटिव्हिटी कमी झालेली आहे, इन्सुलिन कमी झालेलं आहे आणि मग आपण त्या कंडिशनमध्ये बीटा सेल्सला आपण सांगू शकतो, की तू जास्तीत जास्त इन्सुलिन रिलीज कर, की जेणेकरून रक्तातील साखरेचं प्रमाण कमी होईल. म्हणून सल्फोनिलुरियाज हे टाइप 2 मध्ये वापरतात. So sulfonylurea is responsible to increase the secretion of insulin from beta cells of isolates of the pancreas. It also potentiate the glucose mediated insulin secretions. If you taken the sulfonylurea, automatically your insulin secretion get increased. It is not useful for the treatment of type 1 diabetes. Already I have told you that, because in absence of pancreas, they have no effect on blood glucose. So if there is no pancreas, means if there is no beta cells of pancreas, it will be not useful. That's why it is useful for the treatment of type 2 diabetes. So our main today's attraction is the chlorpropamide. So chlorpropamide is an example of what? Sulfonylurea. And sulfonylurea, as we have discussed recently, that it is structurally contains the aryl sulfonyl group with urea. Structurally, it will contains aryl sulfonyl groups with urea. So this is the structural backbone or basic structure present in chlorpropamide. Basic structure present in the chlorpropamide. हे जर तुमच्या लक्षात राहिलं तर क्लोरप्रोपामाइडचं स्ट्रक्चर लक्षात ठेवायला खूप सोपं आहे. So if you want to remember the structure, first you have to remember its classification and then its chemical class. Okay, so chlorpropamide is from the chemical class of sulfonylurea. What is mean by sulfonylurea? So sulfonylurea structure can be generated by the fusion of aryl ring, sulfonyl group and urea. So this is the benzene, this is the benzene, this is sulfone, and this is urea. So it's so simple to draw the structure of aryl sulfonyl groups, or you can say the sulfonylurea. So benzene, sulfonyl groups and urea. So this is the structural backbone of chlorpropamide, or you can say the structural skeletal of chlorpropamide. Now, how to convert this structural backbone into the structure of chlorpropamide? आता आपण पाहूयात की साधारणपणे आपण जे काही स्ट्रक्चरल बॅकबोन बघितलेलं आहे ते आता आपण क्लोरप्रोपामाइडच्या स्ट्रक्चरमध्ये कशा पद्धतीने आपण त्याला रूपांतरित करू शकतो. So that's why I have given the name to these slides, that is how to remember the chemical structure of chlorpropamide. How to remember the structure of chlorpropamide. Okay, so first trick is remember the chemical class from the classification, and second trick is to observe the structure with the name, and then you will find out the something is there in their name from the structure. साधारणपणे स्ट्रक्चर ऑब्झर्व केल्यानंतर आणि त्याचं नाव बघितल्यानंतर आपल्याला असंच लक्षात येईल की स्ट्रक्चर आणि नावामध्ये काहीतरी साम्यता आहे. तर म्हणून मी काय केलं, ह्या नावाची फोड केलेली. आय हॅव ब्रोकन वर्ड्स, और आय हॅव डिवाइड these words in three parts. Okay, first part is chlor, second part is prop, and last part is amide. So chlorpropamide. So I have just making the three words different, and if you join these three words together, it will becomes chlorpropamide. As we know that the chlorpropamide is an example of sulfonylurea, means it is a uh, structure of sulfonylurea will be formed by the mixing of aryl sulfone and urea. Okay, and then this is the structural backbone. Okay, so amide portion is over. Why we call it as amide? Because C double bond or NH2 is amide. Yes, O2 NH is also sulfonamide. Okay, so we know from the chemical class the chlorpropamide is the sulfonylurea class. Now next part, that is you have to go to the reverse. Okay, next part is prop. Prop means what? Propane. So prop stands for propane. Propane means the propyl group. Propyl group means how many carbon atom present in propyl group? Yes. Can anyone tell in chat box how many carbon atoms presents in the propane? That is alkane chain. or you can say the alkyl chain. Yes, very good, Puja. Very nice. Propane contains the three carbon atoms. So you have to attach the propyl group attached to urea. So you have to remember where it should be attached. Okay. Very nice. Very nice. Fantastic. There are so many students are listening very actively. It's really appreciable. Very good. I have seen your reply in chat box. Very nice. So three carbon atom is propyl. Correct. So you have to attach this three carbon atom, that is propyl group, attached to urea. So this is the urea. This is the terminal nitrogen atom. So you have to attach the urea at, sorry, you have to attach the propyl group. See here, this is the propyl, three carbon atom. Okay, and attached to terminal nitrogen atom of aryl sulfone groups. Okay. Now what is remaining? Next part is remaining chlor. Chlor stands for chlorine. Chlor stands for chlorine or chloro groups. Chlorine or chloro groups. So you have to attach the chlorine groups or chloro groups at the fourth position of aryl ring, like this. See here. So I have attached the chlorine portions at 4 number position. If you are unable to see the screen very properly, it indicates that the network at your site is somewhat low. If your screen is blur, it means that the network from your area is somewhat low. Bandwidth for that particular network is low. Apart from Nirmal Avarade, others have issue with the screen. Yes, because I have also observed through mobile phone. Someone says yes, someone says no. Okay. It's clearly visible, sir. No problem. Very good, Zindal. So you can just what we can say, start your rotation. That is, you have to off the, oh sorry, on the auto rotate, and keep your mobile in landscape mode. So this is how we can able to remember the structure. So first part is what you have to remember, its chemical class. So its chemical class is the sulfonylurea, and sulfonylurea will form by the combination of aryl sulfones and ureas. As I told earlier, that aryl sulfone group mixed with the urea. That is, aryl means the benzene, SO2 that is sulfone or sulfonyl, and NH, C double bond O, NH2 is the urea. So this is the structural backbone. Then you have to break, or you have to take some logical thinkings or some, okay. So the name itself indicates that the presence of chlorine group, presence of propane groups. Okay, so you have to divide this name of the drug into the different parts. First part is the chlor, followed by prop, followed by amide. So amide is nothing but the major structural backbone or functional groups which are present in their structure. So prop, so it will stands for the propyl group. Propyl means three carbon atoms, so you have to attach the propyl side chain at the urea, so it will becomes the remaining part of structure. And then chlor, itself indicates that the chlorine, and then you have to attach the chlorine at 4 number position of benzene. So once you apply all the things, your structure will become like this, and it is the exact correct structure of the chlorpropamide. So this is the benzene sulfonamide. I have encircled the benzene sulfonamide functional group because sulfonamide is the major functional group as compared to amide. So you have to give the preference to the sulfonamide. Okay, so 4 chloro means one number is here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so 4 chloro N. So this N stands for this. Sorry, it's not like that. This N stands for this N because we have taken the sulfonamide as a uh, correct. N, propyl. So this is the propyl. Carbamyl, C double bond ONH is a carbamyl. It is not a principal functional group, so prefix is used. Okay, prefix is used. So it is not amide actually. It is amide, but it is a substituent. So that's why it is taken it their prefix, that is carbamyl. So propyl carbamyl, benzene sulfonamide. This is the benzene ring, and SO2NH is the sulfonamide. So 4-chloro N propyl carbamyl benzene sulfonamide is the name of chlorpropamide. That is chemical name. Okay. Chlorpropamide, we will see its physical properties, and its properties: it occurs as a white crystalline powder which is insoluble in water, as it is the from the classification of oral hypoglycemic agents. So no doubt it will be orally effective, useful for the hypoglycemic effect. Its action due to stimulation of the insulin secretions, as it is a sulfonylurea, and sulfonylurea can responsible to increase the secretion of insulin from the beta cells of the pancreas. So chlorpropamide IP means it's officially given in IP, or sometimes uh, chlorpropamide tablets is also found in USP, that is United States Pharmacopoeia. So this is the one of the popular tablets from the Mylan Pharmaceuticals. Okay, see here, chlorpropamide. They have just making some changes in their name, which is available in tablet forms from the United States Pharmacopoeia, and dose is the 250 mg for each tablets. See, I have taken the label of one of the tablets for the you peoples. If you see the chlorpropamide tablets USP 250 mg. So this is all about the chlorpropamide. Now we will shift towards the second part of our structure. That is, second structure is from phenformin, and phenformin is examples of Biguanides class. Phenformin हा ड्रग Biguanides क्लासचा एक्झाम्पल आहे. Okay. So Biguanides is also called as biguanidins. Biguanidins. Biguanides is also called as biguanidins. Bi means two. Bi means two molecules of guanidine. Bi means two molecules of guanidine. याच्या नावामध्येच दिलेलं आहे, बाय म्हणजे दोन. ओके, and guanidines mean there are two molecules of guanidine. There are two molecules of guanidines. So two guanidine molecules are linked together by common NH links, then it will forms the biguanidine structure. Already on your screen there is biguanidine structure. This is the biguanidine structures. I have taken it for you peoples. Okay, how it will form? There is fusion or mixing of two guanidine molecules linked together by common NH link. Linked together by common NH links. So this is the structure. So this is the structure of biguanidines. So how to remember? For the remembering the structure of biguanidines, you have to remember the structure of guanidine. लक्षात घ्या. जर तुम्हाला हे स्ट्रक्चर लक्षात ठेवायचं असेल तर तुम्हाला सर्वात सुरुवातीला ग्वॅनिडिनचं स्ट्रक्चर आलं पाहिजे. आणि ग्वॅनिडिनचं स्ट्रक्चर आपण सल्फोनामाइडच्या वेळेस डिस्कस केलं होतं. We have discussed the structure of guanidine during the chapter sulfonamides, that is सल्फोग्वॅनिडिन्स, इजंट इट. आपण सल्फोग्वॅनिडिनचं एक स्ट्रक्चर पाहिलं होतं. आपण 3 ड्रगचे स्ट्रक्चर होते आपले सल्फोनामाइड्समध्ये. त्याच्यामध्ये आपण ग्वॅनिडिनचं स्ट्रक्चर डिस्कस केलेलं आहे. म्हणजे ग्वॅनिडिनचं स्ट्रक्चर जर आलं तर आपल्याला 2 स्ट्रक्चर्स लक्षात ठेवायला मदत होऊ शकते. एक म्हणजे सल्फाग्वॅनिडिन्स आणि दुसरं म्हणजे फेनफॉर्मिन. आलं लक्षात? म्हणजे कुठल्या चॅप्टरचा फंक्शनल ग्रुप कुठल्या चॅप्टरमध्ये उपयोगी येईल हे आपल्याला सांगता येत नाही. म्हणून आपल्याला सगळेच स्ट्रक्चर किंवा सगळेच फंक्शनल ग्रुप माहिती असायला पाहिजेत. Okay. So how to remember or how to draw the structure of biguanides? I will show you. This is the structure of guanidine. Yes, this is the structure of guanidine. You can observe it carefully. Okay, this is the structure of guanidine. Observe the structure of guanidine very carefully. So NH2, C double bond NH, NH2. So this is the structure of guanidine. It's very easy to remember. If you know the structure of urea, then it will be very easy to remember the structure of guanidine. जर तुम्हाला युरियाचं स्ट्रक्चर माहिती असेल तर ग्वॅनिडिनचं स्ट्रक्चर लक्षात ठेवायला मदत होईल. युरियाचं स्ट्रक्चर काय आहे? खूप सोपं आहे युरियाचं स्ट्रक्चर. NH2 C NH2 and this C having double bond O. See, this is the structure of urea. If you replace this oxygen with NH, then it will becomes the guanidine. Just observe the structure of guanidine and urea. फक्त युरिया आणि ग्वॅनिडिनचं स्ट्रक्चर ऑब्झर्व करा फक्त. मग तुमच्या लक्षात येईल की ग्वॅनिडिनचं स्ट्रक्चर लक्षात ठेवायला किती सोपं आहे. युरियाचं स्ट्रक्चर NH2C double bond O NH2. So if you just replace this oxygen with NH, then your structure will becomes guanidine and you have to just join two guanidine molecules together. While joining, you have to keep remember that the NH is the common for both. So from this is the one part of, okay, this is the one part of guanidine and this is the second part of guanidine. So NH is the common between two guanidine molecules. So it will form the structure of bigonides. लक्षात घ्या, bigonides means by guanidine. Bi means two molecules of guanidine. By guanidine. म्हणजे दोन ग्वॅनिडिन तुम्हाला एकत्र जोडायचे आणि एकत्र जोडत असताना एक काळजी घ्यायची की NH जो आहे तो दोन्ही याच्यामध्ये कॉमन असला पाहिजे. मग झालं सगळ्यात सिंपल स्ट्रक्चर की बायगोनॅडचं स्ट्रक्चर लक्षात ठेवायला आता आपल्याला काहीही प्रॉब्लेम नाही. कारण बायगोनॅडचं स्ट्रक्चर आपण कसं तयार केलं की दोन ग्वॅनिडिन मॉलिक्युल्स आपण एकमेकांना जोडलेले आहेत आणि हे जोडताना आपण काळजी घेतली की एकच NH दोघांमध्ये कॉमन असेल. म्हणजे एका याचा NH2 आपण डायरेक्ट इलिमिनेट करून टाकायचा. म्हणजे कुठेही आपल्याला ते रिंग मोठी होणार नाही. एक्स्ट्रा NH त्याच्यामध्ये येणार नाही. एकच NH दोघांना कॉमन आला पाहिजे. ज्याप्रमाणे तुम्हाला स्क्रीनवर दिसत आहे त्याचप्रमाणे तुम्ही तो NH कॉमन वापरला पाहिजे. म्हणूनच आपण लिहिताना या ठिकाणी लिहिलं की two guanidine molecules are linked together by common NH links. It will form the structure of biguanidine drugs. Or biguanidine drugs are also called as bigonides. फक्त नावामध्ये थोडा बदल आहे, बाकी सगळं सारखं आहे. ओके. So compounds having substitutions of aryl alkyl or alkyl groups. Remember, on this one of the terminal nitrogen atoms of bigonides. There are two nitrogen atoms at terminal. Terminal म्हणजे शेवटी, extremities. This is the first terminal position. This is another terminal position. So either the substitutions on either nitrogen atoms. ओके नाही, either म्हणजे काय, दोन्ही पैकी एकावर कुठेतरी सबस्टिट्यूशन असेल. काय सबस्टिट्यूशन असलं पाहिजे? अराइल अल्काइल ग्रुप्स और अल्काइल ग्रुप्स. Aryl means benzene ring or aromatic ring. Alkyl groups. Okay. It might be methyl, it might be ethyl, it might be, okay, like that. Propyl, butyl. Okay. So then only it will be active as oral hypoglycemic agents. म्हणजे ह्या स्ट्रक्चरच्या याच्यामध्ये जर अराइल ग्रुप किंवा अराइल अल्काइल ग्रुप किंवा अल्काइल ग्रुप जर सबस्टिट्यूशन असेल तर आणि तरच तो हायपोग्लायसेमिक ऍक्टिव्हिटी देऊ शकतो. If you are having the blur screen, it means that you have got a message or you have got a call from any other sites or outsides, then only your screen will get blur. So you have to just off this YouTube and again go to our WhatsApp group and again start your link. Definitely you will get the clear screen. Okay. So during lecture, I have got two calls. I have rejected calls and I got the blur screen. But once I restart the YouTube, screen is clearly visible. So this is the solution if you are having the blur screen. Okay. म्हणजे बायगॉनाइड्स हे कधी ऍक्टिव्ह असतील? बायगॉनाइड्स हे कधी ऍक्टिव्ह असतील? जर बायगॉनाइड्सच्या ड्रगमध्ये अराइल अल्काइल ग्रुप असेल किंवा अल्काइल ग्रुप असेल, कुठे? टर्मिनल नायट्रोजन ऑफ बायगॉनाइड्स. टर्मिनल म्हणजे काय? शेवटचा. या ठिकाणी आपण जर बायगॉनाइडचं जर स्ट्रक्चर बघितलं तर या ठिकाणी एक टर्मिनल नायट्रोजन ॲटम आहे, या ठिकाणी दुसरा आहे. दोन्हीपैकी एकावर जर अराइल अल्काइल किंवा अल्काइल ग्रुप जर प्रेझेंट असेल तर तो ऍक्टिव्ह आहे, म्हणजे तो हायपोग्लायसेमिक इफेक्ट देतो. ओके. सो एक्झाम्पल्स आर फेनफॉर्मिन अँड मेटफॉर्मिन. मी तुम्हाला का सांगितलं? कारण याच्यावरून आपल्याला स्ट्रक्चर लक्षात ठेवायला खूप मदत होते. कारण कुठल्या नायट्रोजनवर आपण सबस्टिट्यूशन करणार आहोत हे आपल्याला माहिती असलं पाहिजे. So fenformin is examples of biguanidine drugs, or you can say the bigonides. So this is the structure of bigonides, and as you know very well that when these bigonides are showing the activity, when it will contains the aryl alkyl side chain or alkyl groups. बायगोनाइड्स हे कधी ऍक्टिव्ह असतात? ज्या वेळेस त्याच्यामध्ये अराइल अल्काइल ग्रुप असेल किंवा अल्काइल ग्रुप असेल, त्यावेळेस ते ऍक्टिव्ह असतात. So it will contains the aryl alkyl side chain. So fenformin contain what? Aryl alkyl. Aryl means aromatics. Already we have discussed aryl sulfonyl groups. That time you can remember aryl means the benzene ring or aromatic ring along with alkyl side chain, which is attached to the one of the terminal nitrogen atom. I have repeated the same things again and again. Why? Because if you listen the same things again and again, it will be helpful to remember the structure of drugs. So this is the structural backbone, that is bigonides is present in the structure of fenformin. So what is extra is remaining then? Only thing is aryl alkyl side chain is remaining. म्हणजे हे सांगण्यामागे हाच हेतू होता की आपल्याला स्ट्रक्चर लक्षात ठेवण्याकरता कुठला त्याचा ऍक्टिव्ह फॉर्म आहे हे जर आपल्याला माहिती असेल तर आपल्याला लक्षात येईल. बायगोनाइड्स आपल्याला समजलं. बायगोनाइड्स म्हणजे काय? देर आर टू मॉलिक्युल्स ऑफ ग्वानिडिन जॉईन टुगेदर इन विच इट इज linked through the common NH linkage. Okay, so this NH is common. So it is a part of this guanidine also, and this is the part of this guanidine also. Okay. Then we will see how to remember the chemical structure of fenformin. So here I will give you some tricks to remember the chemical structure of fenformin. How I will show you. For the remembering the chemical structure, as I told earlier, you have to know its chemical class, You have to know which functional group is present or which structural backbone is present in that particular structure. As you know very well, the phenformin is from the class of biguanidines. And if you observe the structure and the name, then you have to divide the word or name of drug into the different parts. So phenformin, from phenformin, I have taken first word, that is pH. Next word is I have taken is E, and remaining portion is N-formin. So we require these two part is very important. pH and E is very important. Forget about the last part, because we have taken the last parts only for the purpose of the its basic backbone, as we know very well that the phenformin is examples of biguanidines or bigonides. And bigonides means what? We know very well, the two guanidine molecules are joined together. Two guanidine molecules are joined together like this. Okay. And then what you have to think? So E, then E stands for ethyl groups and pH stands for phenyl ring or benzene ring. Benzene ring. pH for phenyl ring and E for ethyl. So if you remember from the name, that is PHE. So this PHE we have divided into the two parts. First part is pH and another part is E. So E stands for ethyl and pH stands for phenyl. So it will becomes aryl alkyl side chain. It will becomes aryl alkyl side chains, that is phenyl ethyl groups, which has to be attached to the terminal nitrogen atom. हा आपल्याला कुठे ऍड करायचा? टर्मिनल नायट्रोजन ॲटमवर ऍड करायचा. See, if you attach the phenyl ethyl groups to the terminal nitrogen atoms, then it will form the structure like that. And this is the structure of phenformin. This is the structure of phenformin. So dear students, you have to observe the structure like this. If you observe the structure, then you will find out that what this is a structure of biguanidine. Okay, this is the structure of biguanidine. And then what is remaining? This is phenyl ring is remaining. So where this phenyl ring came? This is just for the remembering purpose. Okay, so pH stands for phenyl ring. Okay, so that's is very easy to remember the portion of your structure. Isn't it excellent? Okay, is it a very easy tricks to remember the structure? I think so. If you apply the same, it will be very useful to you peoples to draw the structure. And then this E stands for ethyl. Ethyl means two carbon molecules. So this is the ethyl. So pH phenyl, E ethyl, and this is the example of biguanidine. So you have to draw the structure of biguanidine and you have to attach this aryl alkyl groups to the one of the terminal nitrogen atom. आपल्याकडे दोन टर्मिनल नायट्रोजन ॲटम आहेत. तुम्ही इकडून जॉईन करा किंवा तिकडून जॉईन करा. म्हणजे इफ यू join at one end or other ends, it will be same structure. So this is how you can able to remember the structure of phenformin. Okay, so these are the some important tricks to remember the structure of phenformin as well as chloramphenicol chlorpropamides. So I think this is a very important part, and if you following this today only, then you will remember these structures lifelong, isn't it? So dear students, we will discuss its physical property. Phenformin hydrochloride salt is used. It occurs as a white crystalline powder having the bitter taste, which are freely soluble in water. Which are freely soluble in water. It is usually used alone or in combination with the other hypoglycemic agents such as sulfonylurea, phenformin hydrochloride IP, or phenformin tablets IP. These are the some official compounds. But if you search it in medical stores, you will not found the phenformin. जरी आपल्याला हे स्ट्रक्चर अभ्यासायला असलं, परंतु साधारणपणे हा ड्रग्स मार्केटमध्ये सध्या जास्त प्रमाणात वापरला जात नाही. व्हाय? बिकॉज देअर इज अ हाय रिस्क ऑफ लॅक्टिक ॲसिडोसिस. याच्यामुळं लॅक्टिक ॲसिडोसिसची हाय रिस्क आहे. त्याच्यामुळं हा ड्रग मार्केटमध्ये जास्त प्रमाणात वापरला जात नाही. काही कंट्रीजमधून हा ड्रग तर मार्केटमधून बाहेर काढलेला आहे. म्हणजे इट हॅज बीन विथड्रॉवन. Okay, it has withdrawn from the most of the markets due to of its lactic acidosis drawbacks. So instead of fenformin, if you search for the another drugs, their name is the metformin, and if you will found there are so many brands, there are so many uh, products are available from the metformin hydrochlorides. So it is also available in the salt form, that is metformin hydrochloride. One of the popular name is the metformin itself is the generic name which is available in the markets. Then glucophase is another brand name available in the market, or glycomet is the popular brand name which are available in each and every medical stores. Glycomet 500, that is 500 mg of the metformin hydrochloride tablets. तुम्ही जर मेडिकल स्टोअरमध्ये गेला आणि ग्लायकोमेट जर विचारलं तुम्ही, तर तुम्हाला लगेच मेटफॉर्मिन हायड्रोक्लोराईडची टॅबलेट वगैरे पाहायला मिळेल. तर अशा पद्धतीने जर तुम्ही मेडिकल शॉपमध्ये जाऊन थोडाफार हे करण्याचा जर प्रयत्न केला, तर तुम्हाला नवीन-नवीन ब्रँड नेम मार्केटला सिनेरिओ काय चालू आहे हे आपल्याला समजेल. हो की नाही? साधारणपणे पेशंट्सला रोज ग्लायकोमेट म्हणजे मेटफॉर्मिन घेण्यासाठी डॉक्टर सांगतात. म्हणजे रोज ह्या टॅबलेट्स त्यांना घेणं आवश्यक आहे. तर आणि तरच त्यांच्या रक्तातील साखरेचं प्रमाण हे व्यवस्थितपणे राहू शकतं. सो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट द मेटफॉर्मिन. These are the questions. You have to write down the answers of these questions in your assignment notebooks, and then you have to upload it on Moodle. I will share the link of Moodle. I will create the assignments on our Moodle platform. So you have to take the screenshot of this. Okay. So thank you very much. If you have any query, you can put it in chat box. So this is from my sides. Okay. I will take your attendance. So once I have announced, you can share your attendance in chat box. Okay. So roll number 1 to 10, you have to give your attendance in chat box. Roll number 1 to 10 only. Roll number 1 to 10. Eleven to 12. 11 to 12. Eleven to 20. 21 to 30. Roll number 30, you can give the attendance. 31 to 40. 31 to 40. 41 to 50. 41 to 50. 51 to 60. 51 to 60. 61 to 70. 61 to 70. 71 to 86, 87. 71 to 87. All remaining students can give their attendance in chat box. All the remaining students. Now you can leave the class if you want. Uh, if you have any query, you can ask in chat box. I will give you answer, or otherwise you can leave the class. So I hope you have understood the things which we have discussed. उमेश काय झोपला होता का एवढ्या वेळ? आता अटेंडन्स देतो. Please repeat the chemical name of fenformin. Okay, okay, okay. Sir, tell about college reopening. So we doesn't have any guidelines from the government, so we can't say anything about the reopening of the colleges. Once we got the guidelines from the government or our MSBT or the DT, then we will declare it on our WhatsApp groups, or we will call you penbit. So don't worry about the college reopening. So just enjoy the online classes from your hometown. Okay, so thank you very much from the dear students. So I think there is one query in chat box. Repeat the chemical name of fenformin. So this is somewhat complicated name. Okay. So this is the guanidine molecule. This is guanidine molecule. N. So this is substituents on N. So this is this N. Okay. 1, 2. This is the numbering. So N phenethyl. So this is the phenethyl. Phenethyl carbamide oil. So this is the carbamide oil. So we have not seen any functional group till date, but this is somewhat newer for us. So this is the carbamide oil group. And guanidine. So this is last portion is of guanidine. This is the portion of phenethyl. So this is the phenethyl. Okay, I have become three different circles. First circle is from phenethyl. Okay, Nishan. Second circle is for carbamide oil, and last circle is guanidine. Okay, this is the chemical name for this fenformin. Okay, is another. If you have another issue, you can ask, or otherwise you can leave. Or we will stop then our today's lecture. Then we will meet on Wednesday for the next discussion on the. I think we are going to discuss about the narcotic analgesics. So thank you very much, all dear students, and have a nice day. Take due cares by following all the precautions given by your local authorities. So take care. I am going to stop now because I think there will be no remaining questions from you peoples. So I am going to end the broadcast now. So thank you very much.